How's it going, everyone? This is Kobee with Rocky Mountain ATV MC giving you my ride review of the Parabolic steering stabilizer from Precision Racing. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Today I just want to talk a little bit about my experience with this steering stabilizer from Precision Racing. This is their Parabolic. It's actually been out for a while, but fairly new to me, but I have loved this thing. So just to start this video off, I just want to talk about my past experience with steering stabilizers. So I'm a desert racer. I've participated in our local Utah Desert Racing Series for most of my life, the USRA Racing Series. And racing out in the desert, you're hitting a lot of high-speed stuff, and a steering stabilizer definitely helps with that. So for the past 5 years, I've ran a GPR V4 steering stabilizer on my KTM 350 and a 2019 KTM 450 XCFs. And I really enjoyed it. I used their bar mount, which brought my bars up a little bit, but I'm 6'3", and I actually enjoyed the height, just hitting a lot of high-speed stuff. I needed to get over the bars, and I struggled to do that, arching my back and with my stock bar height. So for the longest time, I didn't mind that at all. But since I've transitioned into a little bit more moto, or particularly works racing, and with that transition to works racing and more moto, I picked up this 2021 GasGas MC 450. So with this new GasGas, I obviously broke it in stock, and I was very, very impressed with how much I enjoyed the stock bar height. Nothing against the GPR stabilizer itself. I think it performs well, but I really enjoyed having my bars back down low. I think it helped me in corners and just the more moto style terrain that obviously a motocross track has, and then the off-road stuff that comes with works racing. So I wanted to maintain that stock bar height, and that's what originally led me to giving this Parabolic a try. And since installing it, there's been a whole host of other benefits that I've really enjoyed. It is super small. In fact, it weighs either 1 pound or just under a pound, so it's super light. And the install process for this thing was super simple. Along with how small and compact it is, it mounts straight to your bar, so you need a 2-piece bar clamp, which wasn't an issue. That's what this bike came with. So mounted to the bar, super easy, and then the rest was just your standard stabilizer install. So after getting this thing installed, there was a few things that I noticed that were new to me. So the GPR has one dial, and that compensates for both low and high speed adjustability. This, you can adjust both those individually. I actually haven't messed with my high speed because I've been comfortable where it's at, but I have done some tinkering with the low speed adjustability. There was a couple things I was looking for. I wanted to at least maintain the same stability that I had with my GPR, and it did just that. It maintained great stability at this fairly low setting. I was riding some very high-speed sand washes, very choppy because it's a public riding area, and I could take one hand off my bars in 4th or 5th gear tapped, and no problem at all. So shortly after, I headed to a very rocky race in Arizona. To be honest with you, I've mostly raced this bike and mostly raced with this stabilizer. There in Arizona, it was a very rocky race and some tight single track. And Precision Racing promotes this stabilizer for dampening on a bell curve as opposed to a specific zone like I experienced on my GPR. On my GPR, with a bike on the stand, you could feel the bars break loose from that damping zone. With the Parabolic, it is a much smoother transition from when your bars are completely turned to back when you bring them straight, and vice versa. And I really experienced that in Arizona. In the tighter single track stuff where I was turning sharp, I wasn't fighting the stabilizer to get those bars turned and then to also get them back straight. Yet when I was in rockier scenarios, even at slow speed riding, when I wanted my bar straight, you could tell that this thing was fighting hard to keep them that way, or at least I wasn't noticing any crazy deflection. Since then, I've done a lot of racing, lots of works racing, and I've actually done my fair share of riding on a moto track, and I've noticed this thing's benefits there even. So I really don't do much tinkering with this thing. I usually have it around 3 or 4, which is a lower setting, but I'm really able to just kind of set it and forget about it. So on moto tracks even, I'm able to lay my bike over into ruts and hit jumps and not feel like I'm fighting anything. Yet on high speed straights, it's doing its job and keeping my bar straight, which again, I would credit to that bell curve. So to wrap it all up, a majority of my experience with this has been at works races. And like I said before, I've really just been able to kind of set this thing and kind of forget about it. Yeah, I'm getting all the benefits that I'm looking for out of a stabilizer. I can't remember the last time that I had head shake, and that is probably the #1 thing people are looking for in a stabilizer. And all while I get to maintain a stock bar height, and I think that really benefits my riding in other ways. One more cool benefit to this thing is that it compensates for thermal expansion, meaning that when you're using it for a long period of time and it's working hard and heating up, that you're getting the same level of dampening from when you start riding to when you finish, or if you're riding in high temps, it's going to maintain that same level of damping. So if you're like me and do a lot of off-road riding and racing, or like to dip your foot into some moto every once in a while, this stabilizer has been the perfect one for me, so I'd definitely check it out. So to pick one up, click on the link or head over to RockyMountainATVMC.com. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more ride reviews like you just watched today, and a ton of other awesome content. And yeah, we'll see you next time.